Good afternoon, good day to all of you. I'm Captain Rick Wright, United States Navy retired historian for the National Naval Officers Association. Today is the 9th of January in the year 2021. And again, let's say Happy New Year to all of our membership of the National Naval Officers Association and all of our friends and neighbors throughout the world. Well, this has been a tough week. We've kicked off 2021, but it's been a tough week. The pandemic is still in effect. In fact, the part of the world that we're going to get ready to go to up around Los Angeles, things are really difficult. Let's pray and keep our blessings and hope alive. And of course, had a little situation at the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C. just a couple of days ago. Everybody knows about it. Not good, but we're going to be standing tall and ready to make it happen. Well, from the wilds of upstate New York, the Finger Lakes of upstate New York, Marcellus, New York, and the suburbs of Syracuse, New York, and home of Syracuse University and the Syracuse University Orange. By the way, to all the basketball fans out there, Syracuse versus Georgetown later today, and also the Buffalo Bills, Western New York, standing tall with a football game that should be kicking off about right now. Alrighty, I got my intro in, but let me get to the real essence of our presentation on this episode of This is NNOA. Let's take a trip all across the United States of America from upstate New York and take you on a beautiful land of opportunity and hope, a land of blue skies and sunshine. By the way, we got a little bit of snow on the ground here in upstate New York, but where we going, there's no snow. I'm sure it's probably about 70 degrees, sun is shining. And ladies and gentlemen, let me shut up and present to at this time, Lieutenant Arbuckle, the officer in charge of naval recruiting in San Diego, California. What we call it, talent acquisition group or something there, Lieutenant?
Yes, sir, TEOC. Yes, sir.
Lieutenant. And that's, boy, every time I think about your name, I think of Twilight Zone or something, you know. Twyla Arbuckle, right?
Yes, sir, Twyla Arbuckle.
Okay, please. And crazy Captain Rick Wright here now. I'm enjoying this, baby. Love this kind of carrying on. Please introduce yourself to us. Where were you born? Where's the foundation that created an incredible, brilliant naval officer such as you?
Oh, you are far too kind, sir. Thank you. I am from Southern California, born in Inglewood, and raised in Orange County. I know you love to ask about high school, so I had to let you know my middle school was Ensign Middle School.
Yeah.
And our mascots were the Seabees. And then my high school, my high school was Newport Harbor High School, and of course we were the Sailors. So I truly felt like I was destined to be in the Navy, honestly.
Hey, did you have one of those junior ROTC programs at your high school?
You know what, honestly, no, my school did not offer that, unfortunately. I would have been a part of it if they had it, though.
So you finished high school. Does the Navy surface immediately upon graduation out of high school, or?
Actually, no, sir. I really wanted to get out of the bubble, so I enlisted right as soon as I graduated. I was basically set to go to boot camp to be an IT, information systems technician, out of actually the very district that I work at right now, which is kind of crazy.
Oh, this is beautiful. You have returned to burn. Hey, underway. So basically, right out of high school, you joined the United States Navy. Hey, what did you, was boot camp at that time Great Lakes or Orlando? I'm an old naval officer. I'm trying to learn all these training grounds that we've had over the years. Where did you go?
Great Lakes, sir.
Oh, so Southern California to Great Lakes. Did you go in the winter time or the summer time?
I did, unfortunately, and no one prepared me for what was all the snow. We were marching, and I'm literally, the first time I had ever seen a snowflake was on the back of another sailors, basically their watch caps. Yep, first time I had ever seen a snowflake, and I vividly remember that moment. Like, wow, this is happening.
So this is what snow looks like, huh? Alrighty. Yeah. So you come from Southern California.
Yes.
How was that boot camp experience for you at the Great Lakes Training Center there in Great Lakes on the shores of Lake Michigan?
Yes, actually, I thought it was kind of fun. And I know that's kind of weird to say, but I thought it was kind of comical when, folks were yelling at me to, put your boots on. And I just couldn't help but laugh and think, well, what is the urgency? We're not going anywhere, but okay, go ahead, yell. And then I was also lucky because my big brother, he was also in the Navy. So he had kind of given me an idea like, okay, yeah, they're going to yell at you, but they're really just beating you down to build you back up. So once I had that nugget of information, I tried to just have fun with it and just enjoy the fact that I was around so many, in Southern California, I was truly used to being, one of the only Black folks in a room. So it was really nice to be surrounded with all of these different people from all the different corners of the world. So I had a good time. I did.
You had a good time. Hey, everybody, join the Navy, baby. Not just a job, it's an adventure. Lieutenant Arbuckle is telling all you, especially you lovely ladies out who want to join the Navy, hey, boot camp ain't all that much. It is. It's a great training experience, especially if you take it from that standpoint. As I think about Great Lakes, I never forget the first time I went to Great Lakes to really have a good time. Not really a good time, but planning the Navy's Great Lakes cruise. This is in 1992. And the CO of Great Lakes was Admiral Mac Gaston, great African-American admiral, the first African-American admiral in charge of Great Lakes Training Center. Now, after you leave Great Lakes, we have a thing called what? A schools in the United States Navy to get you ready for your specialty.
Yes, sir.
What was that special? I know you scored high on all those tests that we give you and everything. And so you go to A school. Where was A school located for you?
Funny enough, it was right across the street from boot camp, sir. I was stuck in Great Lakes from January of 2003 to, I think I didn't leave until the summer. So I got to experience chill condition 5 and heat condition 5 in Great Lakes. And it was, oh yes, I was ready for that. That was the hardest part of the entire ordeal. But yes, I got to go to ITA school, and that was funny enough. My brother, he joined the Navy as an undesignated airman. And he, what is it? Not lateral transfer, but basically cross-rated.
Yeah, cross-rated,
Yep, so we were fortunate enough to be at ITA school we weren't in the same class, but we were at the schoolhouse at the same time. And it was really frustrating for me because he was my big brother. So of course, when gentlemen would see me around and want to say hello and introduce themselves, my brother would put a stop to that. So while I was
protecting
I was so frustrated, sir. I remember calling my dad and saying, would you tell Roland to just leave me alone? And he would just laugh at me and say, oh, you'll be fine. Goodbye. So I had a very unique experience up there.
Oh, wow. It's really heavy. Never did I realize that your brother was also at Great Lakes going through an A school and you were there at the same time. We got to do something with that story. We got to have to get that story told out to the field. I got to write an article about you, Lieutenant Arbuckle, after this great podcast. This is NNOA. I'm going to get back to you. I got to write that story up. That's incredible. I mean, all these girls are in the Navy, a brother and sister at Great Lakes at the same time going through A school.
Oh, yes.
Oh, God. Now, with the A school, your particular billet or designator or rating, if I would say, what kind of things will be your responsibility after you left that kind of a rating?
So the fun thing about being in IT is they're split up in, back in the day, actually, IT used to be 2 different rates. It used to be radio men and data processors, your RMs and your DPs. So at the time, right when I got there, they had just merged those 2 ratings. So you had the data processors that were more in charge of your ADP, your automatic data processing, computers, Windows, security, those type of things. Then on the other side of the house, you had your tech control, satellite, all of the behind the scenes technicians that made sure that data was getting off the ship and, to the outside world. So I was fortunate enough to be on the data processing side where I got to actually make accounts on the ship. I got to, just do what your basic IT would do inside. And one of the things I loved about the rate was the customer service part. I love to explain to folks, okay, well, one of the reasons why your computer's running so slow is because you have all of this data, saved in the wrong spots on your computer. So I like to do that kind of fun stuff. And, we also had to do some of the civilian certifications like CompTIA, Windows Plus, and I can't even remember anymore because I haven't been.
Oh, well,
years,
hey, you had a
yes,
wonderful opportunity. You found yourself a labor of love early in the United States Navy. Now, Lieutenant Arbuckle, you are finishing up A school at Great Lakes. And finally, this wonderful, incredible sister of Southern California who has seen cold weather and snow and the winds of Lake Michigan flowing all over your face, said, wow, it finally got warm. And there's a thing called graduation. Now, we got, once we got all this great training, now it's time, are you going into surface aviation somewhere? What part of you want to go surface warfare, I think, right?
So at the time I was.
What happened after you graduated?
Yes, so I chose the ship, the USS Baton, because I thought the name sounded kind of cool, which is a weird way to choose your command, but whatever.
Yeah, that's a heavy battle, World War II, Lieutenant. Okay.
Oh yes, absolutely, and I learned a lot about that once I got to the ship. But yeah, it's basically it's an LHD, what we often call Harrier carriers. Almost as big as aircraft carriers, just a little smaller, but I got to go there. And that was when I learned about the Seaman Admiral program, where I could
we're getting
an officer.
Where was the battalion? Was it West Coast, East Coast?
East Coast, sir. I wanted to get as far away from California as I could, but still be in the United States. So we were in Norfolk.
Are we saying you landed at the home of the Atlantic Fleet, Norfolk, Virginia?
Absolutely, okay. Sir.
Outstanding. Okay, you're the USS Bataan, you're having fun, information technology. You basically are just a superstar on board the ship, performing miles off scale, all that good stuff. And then you hear about the Seaman to Admiral program?
Yes, sir. Which I honestly believe is the best accession program out there, because the Navy is literally paying you to go to school, finish your undergraduate degree while they pay you E5, your whatever rank you were in at the time. I was an E5 when I got accepted, and they paid my BAH. I mean, I was sitting very nicely compared to my, my fellow students that were, jobs trying to pay tuition and everything. It is truly an awesome experience, and I had such a great time.
So you're telling us that the United States Navy, and they found you, you dancing on board the USS Bataan. Now you're going to come off ship and you get ready to go to college free of charge? Is that
absolutely
what's going to
yes,
happen?
Sir. That's what happened. So the Navy allocated, I believe it was $10,000 per year in tuition assistance for me to finish it. And it basically worked out where I was able to spend, I believe I was able to take like 4 to 6 classes in the fall and in the spring, and then at least 1 or 2 classes in the summer. So it all worked out where at this time, I don't have any student debt, and I have a fully beautiful, right over here, degree from Old Dominion University.
Hey, hold it. You went to Old Dominion, ODU, up on Hampton Boulevard.
Yes,
well, I'm
sir.
a native of Elizabeth City, North Carolina. I know the Tidewater area well. My undergraduate program was at an Elizabeth City State University, which is about 35 miles south of ODU. There's Norfolk State there, there's Hampton, but you go to Old Dominion and you get your baccalaureate degree from Old Dominion. And what are you majoring in, by the way?
I majored in professional communications. It was one of their newer degrees that they had that I, just looking at the curriculum, I fell in love with it. I got to learn about organizational psychology and social psychology and just all these different classes that just really seemed interesting to learn. I've definitely been using it as a SWO when I became a SWO, that's for sure.
So the Old Dominion experience from a standpoint of undergraduate was perfect for you. Well, the labor of love of having joined the United States Navy is a never continuing evolution for you. Now, is OCS in the, are you going to officer candidate school to get your commission, or they're just going to give you a commission in the
No.
program?
So for us, once we were accepted, they have all the seaman and admiral students go to what's called the Naval Science Institute. That's at Rhode Island. So we were right there with, you had your OCS folks, and then we were also in the same, I think it was King Hall actually. We were in the same hall with the LDO applicants where they were
the officers. Okay.
Yeah, so it was really interesting because, you know, we were right in the middle. We had the OCS folks where, you know, they're running around, they're getting yelled at, told to salute squirrels and eating by numbers and all this crazy stuff. But then you had your LDOs where they were, you know, just chilling, relaxing, going home on the weekends. And then we were kind of in the middle where they're like, hey, we just want you to focus on your naval science classes, you know, make sure you understand the basics of the Navy. And then after that, go on and finish your undergraduate degree. So
now the commission shows up. You are now an ensign in the United States Navy. Oh, yes, man, you're from Southern California, San Diego, home of the Pacific Fleet, Great Lakes. You saw some snow, and you get up. That's at Newport, wasn't it? Newport, Rhode Island?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Newport, Rhode Island. You got your commission. You got those choker whites on. You're looking beautiful and everything in the United States Navy. Now, the great detailer somewhere in Washington in those days had to make a decision on where to send you. What about that first duty assignment on board some ship, right? So what happened?
So funny story, my husband, we got married just before I got commissioned because
we got to put marriage. You got married too?
I did, yes. But when I got picked up at my command, my husband and I, we had been dating for about 4 years actually before we decided, okay, well, I'll be honest. I told him point blank, I am not going to be an officer dating an enlisted person. It's not. So I told him either step up or step aside. So we married. And
what did your big brother have to say about this?
Actually, my brother, which I know he's probably listening. Hi, Roland.
Yes.
He and my brother are like best friends, which I think
this really worked out.
I love him. Yes. But yep, so we got married just before I got commissioned. And when I got to select orders, I made sure, you know, they always say get good grades. That way you can choose your command first. So I told everyone at my school, hey, I'm choosing the Higgins. The Higgins is the only ship in my husband's battle group. Do not choose this ship or we're going to fight. And sure enough, I got my ship. And so I went off to the USS Higgins to be the gunno and the auxiliaries officer.
Hey, what kind of incredible naval vessel is the Higgins?
It is a DDG, sir.
Okay, Ollie Burt class destroyer. All right.
Yes, sir.
You come on board the USS Higgins and Ollie Burt class naval destroyer. And by the way, you're an African-American female officer.
Yes, sir.
This story is going to get really interesting. What was the wardroom on the Higgins like for you at that time?
I'll be honest, it was very different from what I was used to. One of the things that I loved about being enlisted was I truly felt like my division was my family. We studied together for advancement exams. We went out and partied on the weekends together. But in the wardroom, I felt like it was a bit more, how does he say, a bit more competitive. Yeah. Perhaps it, I don't know, maybe it was kind of in my head, but at the same time, I didn't quite feel the camaraderie as much, but it honestly made me a lot more resilient and stronger, just realizing, okay, hey, this is the big leagues. I am no longer enlisted.
Look, were you the only, how many other African-American officers on board the Higgins when you went on board?
I was the only, my wardroom was about 30 people, and I was the only black for a while. I think later on, right after I started to transfer, I think one other, yes, our supply officer had checked on board, and he was a black guy. But for the most part, yep, it was just me.
Well, my this is you got the area of isolation. By the way, at this time, you'd already received your enlisted quals, right? I think you got it
Yes,
on
sir.
board as a surface enlisted qual, also aviation too. Man, you
Yes,
were
sir.
real, oh, you're full on sailor now. You full off scale on the perform on that fit report. Yes. Now on board the Higgins as a new ensign, and of course
Mhm.
you already your enlisted background really gave you real good familiarization about what a ship is and everything you need to know. What were your areas of responsibility on board that Arleigh Burke class destroyer, the Higgins?
So I started off as the gunnery officer, where I was in charge of my guys were the ones that took care of the 5-inch gun, Sea Whiz, and I was fortunate enough to be their division officer and learn how our, our excuse me, basically how the entire combat system suite worked. So
Yes.
that was really great. And then, yeah,
Uh-huh.
and then of course, you know how the Navy goes. As soon as you figure out your job and you're good at it, then it's time to pluck you and put you in another department, figure out.
That's what it's all about too.
Yes, sir.
Operation of the ship and everything too. You didn't get into engineering, did you?
I did. Actually, they sure enough said, you know what, we're sending you to engineering. And I'm so glad because you never truly understand or appreciate how much engineers work until you work alongside with them. And I'm telling you, those MMs, those machinist mates, and the ACs, they just worked harder, and they didn't even, and it was just normal, like literally working 18-hour days and just like, oh yeah, just another Tuesday. It was incredible, but I truly loved it. And I was the only female in my division.
Yes, you are in an environment where you're the only person, but you're
Oh
performing
yes.
incredible.
Yep.
And of
Yeah.
course, you receive some incredible respect. Also, I think
I
another key thing I want to lay out here to the young junior officers going on board to listen closely to what Lieutenant Arbuckle is saying here, because many of you will be in the same type of situation. And of course, the Navy offers a lot of opportunity. I've enjoyed it. By the way, I think about engineering. I think about I was on board one ship, an FFG years ago, and my stateroom mate was the chief, was the Chang on board that day.
oh
Phone was ringing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with different kind of problems on board the ship, man. But he had a big smile on his face, and what can I say? Now,
Oh.
how long was your duty on board the Higgins? So for a year and a half, 2 year tour?
So I was there for 2 years.
Okay. What kind of cruises did y'all make? You hit to the Mediterranean or?
Yes, actually, what was it? I checked on board in January, about a week before we deployed, which was honestly another reason why I wanted that ship, because I knew that one of the best ways for you to get your surface warfare qualification is to get underway and deploy.
So you
So
were going for your SWO officer qualifications there.
yes,
You already had
sir.
your enlisted qual, so you were in pretty heat. Okay,
Oh,
Mr.
yes.
Death, I'm ready already. Okay, keep
Yeah.
going. I don't want to this. Well, this is incredible. On board. Okay, so did it take you long to get your SWO pen?
You know, it did because we were deployed for 6 months. The first 6 months that I had checked on board, and then they had to pull me off the ship for 2 months to go to BDOC, our Basic Division Officer course.
Yes.
So that, although they were teaching me the basics, which was great, I had to go back to the ship, and I wasn't able to knock out the big qual that's needed to get your SWO pin, your Officer of the Deck qual. So, of course, after you come back from a deployment, your ship has to go into the workup phase and, prepare to go through basic phase and prepare to deploy again. So unfortunately, my ship didn't have a lot of underway time. So it took me about 18 months or so to finally get my pen. But, oh yeah, when I did,
Oh, okay.
so pleased.
So you leave the Higgins. Let me clear my throat here from upstate New York. By the way, this is NNOA, our weekly episode of news, views, and perspectives of incredible officers in the United States Navy, United States Marine Corps, the United States Coast Guard, and the Public Health Service. And also, we're going to get to the Oceanographic Administrative brothers and sisters also. Captain Rick Wright here, Lieutenant Arbuckle, coming in from lovely Southern California, San Diego, incredible surface warfare officer, and we're going to tell you more about her great career. Now, Did you go to shore? Did you do a shore tour after you came off the Higgins?
I did, sir. So I have a unique pipeline where basically right after I had finished my tour on the Higgins, I was prepared to be the MPA on an LCS,
Okay.
but had other plans for us. And my husband and I found out that I was pregnant. Right.
Oh,
Left the Higgins.
what you're doing
Yes,
this and
sir.
raising a family too. Hey,
Oh,
over the
yes.
Higgins, all over. Did y'all get like the Azores and cruising past Gibraltar and all that stuff in the Mediterranean? Did you get that shot? Or it came on
Oh,
the,
yes.
oh, you did?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we were lucky enough. We did hit, we spent a lot of time in the Med, and I'm trying to remember because done a couple deployments, but yeah, my Westpac tour, we got to hit some really cool port visits like Palau, which I'd never even heard of.
Hey,
Um,
you said Westpac. Is that the next ship? The next ship you're going to be deployed to? I mean, you come
oh
up.
no, that on Higgins. Yes.
Oh, the Higgins made it too.
That was, yes.
Oh, well, let's see.
Yeah.
The Higgins was on the West Coast. Shit, it was based on the West Coast, or
Huh? Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yes. When,
okay,
so,
no, everything is good. I thought you might have run through the Panama Canal, get to the West.
oh,
But you,
yeah.
or Higgins on the West Coast. So that was a West
Yes, sir.
Coast ship.
Westpac.
Westpac, going to places like Hawaii and all those kind of places, huh?
Absolutely. Guam. Yes.
Guam, okay, paradise. What can I say? All right.
Oh, yes. It was wonderful. Yeah, I'm lucky enough to have experienced an East and a Westpac tour.
Man, you have seen Hayes Gray and Underway. Now,
Oh, yeah.
what's your next ship?
Right. So right now I am a human resources officer. So if I do get to go on another ship, which knock on wood, I'm hoping I get to experience a carrier, which would be awesome. That's been one of the ships I've always wanted to be.
Oh, you want a carrier, huh?
That would be nice.
A lot of folks
Yes.
watching. This is NNOA. Captain Rick Wright here. You've heard our Lieutenant Arbuckle, who's out in San Diego, wanted to go on board a carrier. All right, let's make it happen. Well, let me get back. Now, right now, okay,
Yes.
so basically you've surface warfare, been all in the Atlantic, in the Pacific and everything. And recently you've designated into the HR community, which is very important.
Yes,
The
sir.
human resources side, because it deals with people and recruiting and all. And you are now the officer in charge of the whole naval recruiting efforts in San Diego, California. By the way, I just want to, just not diverting, but we'll get to the same thing. How's the pandemic a problem? COVID-19, how things in San Diego? I know I heard a lot of credible stories out of Los Angeles, up the road from you, that things are not looking good. How are we looking here in San Diego?
It had, at first, it really hurt us numbers wise. We were doing really well. We were on glide slope. And then all of a sudden the pandemic hit and it was like, whoa, what is happening? It definitely impacted the way my recruiters work because we pride ourselves on, going to career fairs and colleges. And I remember March 13th, we were actually having we were prepared to go to an air show, the El Centro Air Show.
El Centro. Yes.
Yes. And sure enough, that got canceled, which, I was truly looking forward to it. So that hurt us. But then at the same time, we tried to think on the bright side where, we realized the pandemic was going to hurt the job market. So we tried to use that as ammunition, like, hey, folks, get it. Jobs are scarce out there, but hey, maybe still hiring.
And we're in business with all kind of opportunities and job descriptions all across the table.
Exactly.
Well, I'm really proud of you in this really pandemic environment that we've been dealing with. And 2020 was a challenge. I mean,
It was.
demanding year. And really, bravo Gulu to you. Now you are in the officer in charge of the San Diego. How now with COVID-19 going? By the way, let me for somebody who is really a novice, wondering what in the world they talk about. Oh, I see, officer in charge. What does that entail? With regard to recruiting, your job is to find people and show them the opportunities for not just the officer rank, but also the enlisted ranks.
Absolutely.
What are the hot fields right now that the Navy is looking for? What are the hot areas?
Hot fields. Okay, so believe it or not, for some reason on the officer side, you see Top Gun, everybody wants to be a pilot. Everybody. Like, it's just every time someone comes to the door, we figure, okay, they probably want to be a pilot. But funny enough, we need naval flight officers. Yes, exactly. So we often try and tell the pilot applicants, hey, Navy's good when it comes to pilots, but there is this opportunity for you to be a naval flight officer, and the chances of you getting picked up are very high. So, talking to some of my colleagues, they consider the NFOs the SWOs of the sky.
Yes.
I really, for anyone out there considering an aviation career, but maybe don't want to be the one who's actually in charge of flying, seriously consider a naval flight officer career, and feel free to give us a call if you have any questions. I have one of my really good friends, Francis Hill. He would love to speak more with you on opportunities for that.
Now, looking at the whole recruiting effort. Now, by the way, we changed the name of what's this new tag? Talent Acquisition.
Tag, yes, yes, sir. We went through a major transformation. I had just checked on board, and we were in our DC district, San Diego, and then sure enough, we got the call, hey, in 6 months, you're changing your name. You will now be Naval Talent Acquisition Group. So we are.
I have with CRUCOM for a lot of years in my naval career, and also the Talent Acquisition Group.
Yes, and it's nice too, because everyone assumes that the NRD San Diego is just San Diego, but actually my district, we cover San Diego, Yuma, Arizona, Orange County, San Bernardino, Riverside County, and Las Vegas. So it's nice that we are just in Tag Southwest, so folks know, hey, don't buy a house in San Diego yet. We're more than San Diego. So
we got the territory. Now, now on the enlisted side of the Navy, let's talk to those high schoolers out there who are they're in their senior year, getting ready to graduate from high school. What is the procedures for a high school senior who's possibly looking at a career in the United States Navy? Do they contact you, or you find them? I know we go out to the schools, and in this COVID-19 environment is really what I'm really bringing this up. What kind of procedures would you recommend to that high school senior who is interested in the Navy right now? Lieutenant Arbuckle?
Well, I would highly recommend, because I know this is a nationwide podcast, but I highly recommend going to Navy.com and clicking on Find a Recruiter. That way they can point you in the direction of a recruiter that's closest to you. Because as much as I would love to take everybody listening, unfortunately, I got to, take care of San Diego areas. But yes, go to that website, kind of play around, get an idea of what the Navy is. We talk about all the different jobs out there. We talk about how it's important to stay fit, how to stay healthy, because that's, first and foremost our priorities. But yeah, once you go ahead and contact our recruiter, we're going to go ahead and ask you some questions, basic questions. What's your medical history like? Do you have any college? Perhaps you want to become an officer. And also on the enlisted side, we love to take folks that are geared towards more STEM related degrees, and folks coming from STEM backgrounds, because we're all about science and math. So yes, and then once the recruiters will get in touch with you, we'll work with you to take the ASVAB, which is basically our Armed Forces, forgive me, I can't remember what ASVAB stands for.
Qualification test, we call it.
Yes, sir.
Vocational aptitude, what we call it. But there we find out really what we can probably fit you based on your scores and your abilities and all. You mentioned STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And I go back to our National Naval Officers Association convention. Our last one we had out in San Diego, that was 2019. We had that big STEM we had STEM invites out to all the college students. I think we had about 400 or 500 students showed up on board one of our carriers.
At least. Yes, sir.
I got phone calls from mothers, really. I'm in Syracuse, New York now. And of course, being a member of the NNOA, we're putting the symposium together. And my email was, I got about 4 or 5. We had already filled it up. I mean, there was no more room. I had mothers sending me and calling me on the phone saying, Captain Wright, my son or daughter, they got to go to this Navy STEM program that NNOA is doing, and I can't. The website said it's already closed. But it was fascinating. And I know that big area shot, photo I shot at all of our mass communication specialists and all took that picture that we had in the NNOA publication, all of those. I mean, that gives me real optimism. But also the next thing about it, and you brought this up, you know, everybody does, you know, we have a lot of brilliant, incredible people with incredible, a mind is what I'm saying is a terrible thing to waste.
Absolutely.
And the thing I want to get the word out is that to young people who might find themselves in situations where there's no money and it seems like there's no hope in the family, hey, we got something ready for you to take you, and you don't need no money to make it happen.
We got you.
All you do is bring the brain power to us.
Exactly.
Well, now we've been talking about your great career. You're the officer in charge out in San Diego. By the way, what's the temperature out in San? I'm upstate New York, kind of chilly up here in upstate New York. The sun is shining. Kind of give me a weather for my son, Ruben Wright III, the executive director of This Is NNOA, asked me to ask you, what's the weather like? What's the weather like in Southern California right now? Hey, Ruben, here it comes. She's gonna tell you, man.
Actually, it is 64 degrees, which is officially California cold for us. So
64 degrees is cold.
Yeah.
The sun's shining too, huh?
Oh yes, absolutely.
And you got blue skies, huh?
Yep, not a cloud in the sky.
I got some palm trees around there too, huh?
Yes, sir.
So Harbor Drive is looking nice. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. I got that point out. Now, Lieutenant Arbuckle, pleasure having you on board today. You have another role. You are the president of the National Naval Officers Association, San Diego, California chapter. Tell us about NNOA and what does NNOA mean to you, and also your role in providing the leadership in what is home of the Pacific Fleet, San Diego.
Yes. So honestly, every time I hear NNOA, I just think family. I've always, and I continue to tell everyone when they're just learning about NNOA, but I truly have always felt like the San Diego chapter is essentially an extension of your wardroom. It's just, I mean, other than maybe ANZO, NNOA is one of the only groups where you have just all the different flavors of naval officers out there that get together and we network, we mentor, we help, we support each other. And we also answer questions, and we, just point folks in the right direction when you need help with, sometimes, you have folks that are like, that are wondering whether or not their designator is where they should continue on. And fortunately enough, they can come to NNOA. They can talk to amazing mentors like our senior advisor, Captain Dewan Cheney, who will take the time out of his busy schedule to sit down and say, all right, let's talk about your career. Let's look at your record. Let's see, whether it makes sense for you to continue on. So I can't say enough about it, but I know I would not be where I am today, happy in the designator that I always wanted to be in, without amazing mentors that you, sir, have already interviewed, like Captain Mary McAdams and Commander McCreary, and even, obviously our amazing national president, who is truly an inspiration to me. But I can't think of anything like it. Not even the Surface Navy Association. I truly don't feel like they are that dedicated to our retention and our professional development the way NNOA is. So.
Oh, yes. Well, I tell you, NNOA for me also is a labor of love. And I first came aboard in 1982. And of course, I spent many of my years as a professor of television, radio, and film in the SI Newhouse School of Public Communications at Syracuse University. Of course, I've also been on faculty of 4 HBCUs too: Delaware State University, Howard University, North Carolina Central University, and Elizabeth City State University. And God has blessed me with really, of 3 of the schools, I've gotten degrees from them. My baccalaureate degree at Elizabeth City State, master's at North Carolina Central, and of course my PhD from Syracuse. And of course came aboard Navy through the Naval Recruiting Command, brought me in, found me with a direct commission in 1981. But I never forget that day I walked into the ballroom of the Waterside Hotel, Norfolk, Virginia, that summer of 1982. And I grew up really in the Navy and the Coast Guard, growing up in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. And of course, my mother, Reuben Wright III's grandmother, fed many sailors who basically were all messmen in the Coast Guard and the Navy, because in the era of segregation back in the 50s and 60s, all the young brothers, sisters that would leave the base, would come out into the African-American neighborhoods. And they were fed and found comfort and solace away from home. So that was my background. And of course, ended up in the Navy, which was also one of my dreams. And God gave it on me later years to become a naval officer. Oh, you're a Coast Guard officer, but the Navy got me, U.S. Coast Guard, right? But anyhow, walking in that ballroom that morning and seeing the incredible array of African-American Naval, Marine, Coast Guard officers, I was blown away. And that day, NNOA means so much to me. And of course, Judge Fauntroy, Commander Judge Fauntroy of the JAG Corps, who was Judge Fauntroy, the DC Superior Court judge, was the president at that time. And it was just an emotional thing to even talk about today, and looking at the beauty of where we have come from, what we are now doing also. Lieutenant Arbuckle, there is also a very special person in San Diego, California, one of my mentors of NNOA, Lieutenant Commander Richard West.
Yes, sir.
Navy. And yes. Lieutenant Commander Richard West is really, I think, like our 5th or 6th naval aviator. And his early tours, like Naval Air Station Chincoteague, he was on Admiral Zumwal's staff at the Pentagon back in the late 60s and early 70s. But bravo Zulu, and hats off, and you wonderful, incredible Naval and Marine Corps and Coast Guard officers all out of the San Diego chapter of NNOA. Let's keep remembering and keep Lieutenant Commander Richard West happy. He is our father, one of the founders of NNOA, and he's in your ranks out there. So we'll keep loving him and calling him and all that good stuff too. Lieutenant Arbuckle, Twyla, you are the real deal. And of course, it's been a pleasure having you on this episode of This is NNOA, and the incredible leadership of the National Naval Officers Association, Admiral Sinclair Harris, United States Navy, a surface warfare officer, and also our wonderful Captain Simonia Blashingame, the Executive VP of NNOA, and on behalf of the Board of Directors, where I serve as historian for NNOA. Hey, I was getting ready, let me ask you one other big thing. We're coming up 50 years. 50
we are.
50
yes,
years.
Sir.
And that will be 2022 next year, and we will be meeting at Annapolis, Maryland. So kind of get this word out, Madam President of the NNOA Chapter San Diego. We are looking for a theme for our 50th anniversary, to build everything around. And of course, just start thinking aloud and get to your membership and members that we need a theme, and put those themes together and just ship them to us. They know all the different email places to send their themes to, but we're looking for a theme for NNOA. And also any kind of thoughts that y'all have on how we can really, salute and put together the 50-year anniversary. Don't be a stranger. Hey, contact me, Captain Rick Wright, and also Captain Robert Dews, United States Navy retired, is basically our point person, will be our head of our 50th anniversary celebration, incredible scenes and missions at Annapolis, Maryland in 2022. Well, Lieutenant Arbuckle, God bless you and your family. By the way, how many children do you have?
We have just one right now, sir.
Okay, what's the name?
Her name is Madison.
Oh, Madison. Tell Madison that Uncle Captain Rick Wright said hi.
I sure will, sir.
Husband, who's also Hayes Gray and Underway Navy, also wearing navy blue and gold. By the way, you got your master's degree too, also in this incredible academic. I forgot to bring up your master's degree along with your baccalaureate degree too. Well,
yes,
Arbuckle, I could talk to you forever, but I know you're busy. You got those Navy khakis on. You're in charge of recruiting, and I know you got to get busy out there in lovely Southern California. So Captain Rick Wright, host of This is NNOA, salutes you with a big bravo Zulu. And this edition has been produced by Roosevelt Reuben Wright III, the executive director and producer of This is NNOA. And today on the 9th of January, 2021, Happy New Year. God bless you. And Lieutenant Twyla Arbuckle, I'll get to you because I got to write a story about you at Great Lakes with your brother. but that's another story. Hayes Gray underway. I'm going to go watch the Buffalo Bills and the Colts play football. See y'all later, everybody. NNOA, love you. And by the way, Ernie Taylor, Commander Ernie Taylor's Veterans Rep Conference will be today, the 9th of January at 1800 hours, and everybody knows the Zoom connection. Okay, Colonel. Okay, oh God, boy, I got to end this thing now. Okay, everybody, I love you. Captain Rick Wright signing off. Later, y'all.